What's up, y'all? It's your boy Cam, back again. Today I'm looking to talk about commercials. I think commercials have gotten way worse as of recently.
So Mindy dashed and she danced to share what she discovered.
Hold on to your Who's-Its, Walmart has Christmas covered.
There are two things I really want to hone in on for why I believe that these modern commercials have really dropped the ball. The 2 points that stand out to me are relatability and comfort. So, relatability, what I mean there is the production team, the writers that are making these commercials for these large corporations trying to relate to you and I, showing, hey, we're the same, we're just like one another. So you can trust us, you should get our product. And the company that really jumps out to me in that regard is State Farm. They are just very painful to sit through. I looked at some older State Farm commercials back in the early 2000s for comparison, and their commercials were focused on kids, which, if you're selling a product on safety, I think that's a good idea. Kids bind us all. They're the most important people in our lives, so that was a good way of going about it. Some of their commercials more towards the middle, so mid 2000s, they were funnier, but you can really see the transition over to humor being the focus of their ads, which is fine. Then you get to the commercials now, and it just feels like there's no heart in them. It's what I would call office humor. The characters are unemotional, kind of being met with these insane circumstances, and there's a lot of meta humor in that as well, which I would say works really well for The Office, but for these commercials, it doesn't sit right. It comes off as inauthentic. I'm not a fan. You can also see in their commercials and some others that they're bringing in celebrities, so a trusted voice that you can hear from, and it just looks soul crushing for these actors in these commercials. I'm sure they don't mind because they're bringing home a bunch of money from this, but yeah, their lines are disingenuous and their expressions are not ones of joy, I would say. Besides State Farm, there's a few others that I watched that are recently made. If you type in Walmart brain rot commercial on YouTube, you can find the one I was looking at. This child talking to this adult, providing her with all the latest in fashion phrases that kids are actually using. Some of them have maybe fallen off by now, maybe in result to this commercial, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, something is popular, people are in on the joke, and then somebody else tries to butt in and it's not really as funny now. It reminded me of Jared Leto with Morbius, where he was getting absolutely thrashed by the internet, and then he caught on and did his thing, and it's like, oh, it's not as funny now. And the craziest thing about that is that these commercials are being developed by like a large group of people. I was reading through some of the methodology for actually putting them together, and it's a pretty big undertaking. Yeah, I feel like whether it's the material being passed between so many hands, or the fact that it has to be reviewed and approved, or it's going through different areas where it's on paper, then it's being acted out, somewhere in that whole thing, it's just very unfunny for a lot of these commercials. There are certainly commercials that are still humorous. And I know that people have different senses of humor, but most of this is, in my opinion, vanilla, toothless, uninteresting, inauthentic humor. Another company that's trying to relate, that's the main sell of their commercial, but it's not even close, would be Grammarly. Grammarly has skits of people just living out their life, and it's not the most enjoyable to witness. The humor is also pretty rough, so that's another one. And then Spotify. Spotify is like bottom of the barrel. If you don't have Spotify Premium, pay attention to the next dozen ads or so that you listen to. They are rough.
It's a universal truth that more is better. Having more snacks is always better. More cute baby animals is obviously better.
It's like the people's souls have been sucked out and then they just have to read off this monotone corporate garbage to you. It's just the worst.
Hello, mates. This is Captain Crunch. If crunch berries are a fusion of crunch and berryness, which came first, the berrylicious crunch or the crunchalicious berry?
So relatability is the first big issue I have with these modern commercials that I've been watching. The next item is comfort. So comfort in itself, I just looked up the definition, a state of physical ease and freedom from pain or constraint, or the easing or alleviation of a person's feelings of grief or distress. That in itself is not a bad thing, but like all things, in excess, it can become much worse. In our modern age, we're living in the most materially prosperous time in history that has ever existed. And these companies are looking at that, oh wow, you have all this material comfort, that must be so hard on you. Don't worry, we'll take a load off your shoulders here. Just give us your money and we'll fix that. That is a big no-no in my book. The ones that really shine through for that are food delivery services, which it makes sense. They're trying to make your life easier. They're taking one of the items off your plate, delivering groceries, delivering meals. You don't have to do that now. The thing is though, cooking is a skill, and people do have a lot to balance with our lives because America is so productivity oriented, but these are too much. It's saying our lives are so difficult and we need this product to bring in that little piece of happiness so that we can make it through the day. That's just too much. I would say if that is you have bigger things to worry about than getting this food delivered to your house. So food delivery services like Grubhub, Uber Eats, I don't know the other ones. Those ones really jump out at me. The other ones beyond food services would be self-help. There's a lot of ease of life there, and some of the claims they make I think are going too far, that your life is too difficult and this is what we're going to do to fix it. TurboTax does it to a certain degree, but I don't take as much issue with the self-help in TurboTax. One set of commercials that I thought was in complete contrast to the other ones that I've discussed were Army commercials. I've watched a number of Army commercials. I see them pop up every now and again, Army and Navy and whatnot, and I find these commercials much better. Instead of asking for your money to lower your status and pointing out how hard your life is, they're calling you to a bigger purpose, an avenue to defend people that you care about. Go out there and make a difference, which I think is much more powerful. It's much more compelling than these other arguments that I was seeing. So yeah, I think these commercials are really good. They're giving you an avenue for purpose, and they're showcasing the people that you're going to do it with. It's much more convincing, which is what a commercial wants to do. So that pretty much wraps up what I have to say about mainstream commercials. I would say though, if I was looking at the worst of all that I'm sure other people have made videos on, are mobile game ads and YouTube ads in general. I don't know what the screening process looks like from YouTube, but I imagine it's either nobody or just some dude asleep at the wheel. It's terrible. These mobile games are like showing like borderline porn and nudity to advertise a game that I would imagine is aimed at kids, so that's pretty appalling. And then the other thing is, games that are just not as advertised, like the fact that these game creators are defending, hey, our game isn't fake. Like, what? How is that a consistent marketing theme for these companies? It's just ridiculous. So that could definitely make a video on that, but Yeah, that's all I have to say for commercials right now. Yeah. Adios.